Yo, what's good, y'all? I would like to welcome y'all back to episode 53 of the Von Talks podcast. Today, in which I'm recording this podcast, is February 20th, 2026. And first, I would like to say shout out to my current, past, and new listeners. I highly appreciate you. Shout out to everybody listening to this podcast on their favorite platforms. Before we get into the show, make sure you follow me on all my socials. I'm not going to name off everything because last episode, that shit was a little bit redundant. So just follow me on Twitch to catch all my live streams at twitch.tv/Mr_Flex-a-lot. And then for all of my gaming news content, you can follow me on TikTok at Von Luciano. That's VonLucciano. So let's go ahead and get into this shit, man. First of all, happy Black History Month once again. You already know what the fuck going on, man. We here, we living, we thriving, you feel me? And everything is gonna fall in place like how we see it. You understand me? It's always a great month. You feel me? Just because it honors us, it honors our people. You understand? And, you know, nobody else, I feel like, in America honor themselves on their month or their day like we do. You feel me? We really be going all out, man. And you know, regardless if people learn about Black history, you know what I'm saying, just this month, that will inspire them to continue to learn about Black history. You understand me? So, man, this is a great month for sure. It's a really good day. I woke up this morning, didn't do my workout, but I definitely got in a lot of stretching, did like a little bit of yoga, did a lot of breathing exercises, got up, washed my puppies, you feel me? Took them out, let them, I fed them. You know what I mean? I'm giving y'all my whole routine of what I did this morning, and, you know, just started gathering notes for the pod, and here I am. So, yeah, man, it's decent out here, man. I hope y'all are having a great day, a great week, a great month as well. So, y'all already know, man, we about to go ahead and talk about this Black history, give y'all a little rundown on those that came before us. Now, it's this gentleman. His name is Benjamin Banneker. I've been studying him for like the last week, and I'm like, oh, this guy was very different. He got a couple quotes that I took notes on, and I'm definitely gonna read them off to you. And I was like, yo, he was treating their ass back in the day, boy, without them even knowing. Like, he was basically straightforward with what he was saying, but he was treating their ass for sure. So Benjamin Banneker, he was born November 9th, 1731, and he died October 1806. I don't think they have the actual date, but that's just what they have. And I'm going to get into the reason why they may have the date a little misconstrued. He made the first working clock in America, and apparently he was inspired to make a clock from a watch that he was given by his acquaintance. And he was like, shit, let me go ahead and make something different, similar, but, you know, something like this. And he made the first clock, the first working clock in America, and it kept its accurate time for more than 50 years. Decent as hell. That shit raw as hell. He owned 100 acres of farmland, and he published a series of almanacs, which is pretty cool about the almanacs, because he predicted a solar eclipse. A lot of the white scientists back in the day, he was basically contradicting what they were saying, and he was being proven right. And a lot of folks really wasn't really feeling that shit. And he was proving them right. And I was reading through his almanac, one of his almanacs, and, you know, basically he was real big into astrology and shit like that. I'm definitely gonna go back and, you know, try to reread them as much as I can, because it seems like it's a lot of helpful but intriguing information, if you will. So yeah, make sure y'all definitely go and check that out, because I was like, oh damn, this almanac shit is really real. He really was writing this shit, you know, and he published a series of them as well. He has a couple quotes that I had took down in my notes, and let me go ahead and read them off to you. He said, and this is what I believe these quotes is what he wrote to Thomas Edison, I found, if I'm not mistaken, or Benjamin Franklin. Let me go ahead and check these notes real quick. It was Thomas Jefferson. He was exchanging letters with Thomas Jefferson. And he got on that with his ass. He said, the color of the skin is in no way connected with strength of the mind or intellectual powers. That's a fact. No matter what color you are, that's not going to determine how smart you are, how determined you are, whatever the case may be. It's all within your mind. Everything that we are is right here in this consciousness up here, man. And then the second quote, he said, I am annoyed to find that the subject of my race is so much stress. Sounds similar to what be going on today, right? He said, the work is either correct or it's not. In this case, I believe it to be perfect. Fuck is you talking about? He was treating their ass. He was treating their ass. And it's just so raw to me seeing this educated black man through the 1700s, early 1800s, doing what he was doing, and motherfuckers respected him for it. Like, he worked alongside George Washington, and he basically laid out sort of a blueprint, if you will, for Washington, D.C. He surveyed the area, basically, and how Washington, D.C. basically got built up. One of the reasons why, if not the main reason, is because of Benjamin Banneker. Raw as hell, man. Raw as hell. Let me see what else, bruh. If, like I said, go look it up, man. Benjamin Banneker, he was definitely one of them ones. He was treating them white folks back in the day. He was having verbal sparring matches with Thomas Jefferson through letters. Basically said, look, regardless of the color of my skin, you look at this shit, what y'all got, I studied it, it's wrong, I did my own thing, this is what it is, and it's perfect. There's no way around it, and it was proven to be true. Definitely one of the stronger minds in history. Before I started doing my research, I did not know who Benjamin Banneker was, but I'm glad I know now, and a lot of his history is forever etched in my brain just because I decided to go and read about him. Raw as hell, so go do y'all research on Benjamin Banneker, man. And do y'all research on his almanacs. There might be some helpful information in there for sure. Oh, before we move on, what I had mentioned earlier. So remember, he published a series of almanacs. He created the first working clock in America that stayed accurate for more than 50 years. He predicted an eclipse. He was proving the white scientists of yesteryear wrong with his own mathematics and logistics through his trials and tribulations. Like, this man was raw as hell. So he did not have any children, and I believe he was never married. So he didn't have any offspring to pass down his legacy, basically. And when he passed away, in his will, I guess he left his farmland because he had to sell a lot of it, because as he gotten older, he became ill, and he wasn't able to work like he wanted to. So he had to sell some of his farmland for money, and he sold it to this family. I believe those they were his cousins. My bad, y'all. I should have had this highlighted beforehand. The Ellicotts. That's who he sold it to. He sold his farmland to the Ellicotts because he needed some extra cash to make ends meet. And he used to live in a log cabin. But as he sold his farmland, and in his log cabin was basically all of his lifelong possessions. And he was 74 when he passed. Somehow, some way, there's no record of it, but his log cabin got burned down. And his clock, a series of his almanacs got burned. It's still, like I said, it's a couple that's still around. You can go research it, you can find them, you can actually read them. It's crazy how they used to talk back in the day too. It's just wild. And we can still understand it. Fucking fire. But his log cabin was burned to the fucking ground. And a lot of his inventions were burned with it. You feel me? Like I said, the series of almanacs, the first working clock in America got burned to the fucking ground. And I feel like it just pisses me off because that man probably has so much helpful information that we can use today. Like, if he was that advanced in the 1700s up until his death, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of helpful information that he had that we could have used today. And you can only imagine who burned his shit down. It didn't just happen out of nowhere. Motherfuckers was mad as hell because he was proving folks right. His name was getting around. It was a black man in the 1700s who was looked at as subhuman at the time, doing these things. And they burned his shit. It makes me so fucking mad. Like, let me not say it makes me mad. It's highly aggravating. It really is. It really is. It's aggravating. And you know, ain't no telling how advanced we could be today in 2026 if his teachings, his learnings would have been passed down properly. So again, go look up Benjamin Banneker. He was raw as hell back in the day, boy. On me, he was on there with their ass. Next up, I want to talk about Cathay Williams, aka Williams Cathay. Now, she was born in 1844 or 1842. They don't really know the exact date, but they said that she lived until she was about 40 something years old. I think 44, 49 years old. What's very significant about this woman, Cathay Williams, she is the first black woman to ever serve in the Army. And she did it disguised as a man. Now y'all probably wondering, well, didn't they have physicals and da-da-da-da-da? Well, this is 18 something. When they was doing their physicals, it wasn't really a full checkup. That's what they said in the readings. It wasn't really a full examination. So they didn't check to see what private parts she had. You feel me? It was just like, okay, I guess she looked enough like a man, and they was like, yeah, get your ass on. But she was raw as hell about her shit. And it's sad, because once folks found out that she was a woman, a black woman at that, she said it herself that they started to treat her real bad. They started to treat her real fucking bad. But everything was done in good reason. Everything was done in good reason, man. She was also the only known woman to serve in the emerging all-black regiment at the time, which was the 38th U.S. Infantry, known as the Buffalo Soldiers. She was the only known woman to serve in the all-black regiment, 38th U.S. Infantry. Raw as hell. So she served us. So I'm pretty sure them folks, wherever she was at to begin with, you already know they were white as hell. They was not on that shit. They would start to treat her bad. Then she went to the Buffalo Soldiers. I'm pretty sure she got better treatment there. And let me go and look on these notes real quick, man. So she said, end quote, "The men all wanted to get rid of me after they found out I was a woman. Some of them acted real bad to me." So she said some of them, it wasn't everybody. I'm pretty sure it was a good amount of them motherfuckers, for sure, treating her bad because they found out she was a woman. But if she was doing what she was supposed to do, and she got in at a time where she wasn't supposed to be there, she definitely was on her P's and fucking Q's, man. What's sad about her story, though, is she became ill. And after she became ill, she basically couldn't work. She was doing what she could for money, but she went to basically get VA benefits. And they told her nah, because even though she served in the Army, she served as a woman. They found out she was a woman, and they didn't want to pay her. So I could only assume because she didn't really have the funds to basically extend her life, to get what she needed to extend her life, she perished that way. That's really fucked up. But she raw as hell. The first black woman to ever serve in the Army, and the only known woman to serve in the all-black regiment, 38th U.S. Infantry. Fire. So that's Cathay Williams, aka Williams Cathay. Go do y'all research on her, man. She was raw as hell with her shit. Now, I wanted to cap this off. There was one more thing I wanted to show you. Well, not show you, but read off to you, man. It's about inoculation. Inoculation was introduced to America by an enslaved man. Now, y'all probably wondering, what the hell is inoculation? I was like, okay, I need to look this shit up too. So basically, it says right here, inoculation is an early method of protecting people from infectious diseases by deliberately exposing them to material from a sick person so they develop immunity. That's raw as hell. And that was not a thing before this enslaved man came about. So, like it says right here, few details are known about the birth of Onesimus, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, but it is assumed he was born in Africa in the late 17th century before eventually landing in Boston, one of 1,000 people of African descent living in the Massachusetts colony. Onesimus was a gift to the Puritan church minister Cotton Mather from this congregation in 1706. Onesimus told Mather about the centuries-old tradition in inoculation practice in Africa by extracting the material from an infected person and scratching it into the skin of an unaffected person. You could deliberately introduce smallpox to the healthy individual, making them immune. Considered extremely dangerous at the time, Cotton Mather convinced Dr. Zabdiel Boylston, crazy names, to experiment with the procedure when the smallpox epidemic hit Boston in 1721 and over 240 people were inoculated. Damn, that's crazy. Again, very dangerous, but this has been centuries in practice for a long time in Africa. And this is what this enslaved man brought to America. Opposed politically, religiously, and medically in the United States and abroad, public reaction to the experiment put Mather and Boylston's lives in danger, despite records indicating that only 2% of patients requesting inoculation died compared to the 15% of people not inoculated who contracted smallpox. Onesimus traditional African practice was used to inoculate American soldiers during the Revolutionary War and introduced the concept of inoculation to the United States. And what do they do today? When you go get the flu shot, they basically putting the flu in you to build up your immunity to it so that way you can, get sick less. You feel me? Same shit. Fire, bro. That's fire. So shout out to Onesimus. You know what I mean? R.I.P. for bringing such a evolutionary practice from the motherland to America to help save these fucking ungrateful ass people, man. But it works out in our favor every single motherfucking time. That's fire, bro. I did not know that before then. I did not know this information at all. If you knew this, let me know in the comments, man. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, Spotify, whatever the fuck, if you can comment, wherever you're watching this or listening to this at, comment and let me know, bro. Did you know about this information? All right. So that is the Black History segment of the podcast. Now let's go ahead and talk about this gaming, man. I hope y'all enjoyed that shit. I really do like that. I'm still getting in the groove of trying to, speak more fluently, things of that nature. I'm reading more. So if my speech do end up getting a little bit better, just know, oh yeah, this nigga really is reading. And I got a phone call. I got to take this. All right, I'm back. I had to take that call. Now, where were we? Let's get back into this gaming conversation, man. I haven't really been playing anything new since the last episode of the pod. I'm still playing Neo 3. I played a couple hours last night, clearing out the map, done a lot of exploration. There's a lot of exploration to do in that game, but I will say it's good because you get rewarded for it. It's not like that game they was hyping up, Black Myth Wukong, where you can explore and there's nothing on the map. It's just a fucking dead zone. And Neo, you run into enemies you run into enemies all the time. I was about to say every so often. No, you run into enemies all the time. You are always finding some type of loot, and the loot be cool. You can pick it up, sell it. It don't matter what you do with it. Even if it ain't something that you want, you can sell the shit. You can always do something with it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been clearing out my inventory, selling a lot of things. I'm just like, okay, yeah, this game is a lot of fun. It's addicting. The combat is fucking fire. Really been enjoying the game, man. Neo 3 is definitely one of the ones this year for sure. If y'all have not played Neo 3, I highly recommend it, man. Like I said, I never played Neo before. I've only played Neo 3 is the only one that I played. I never played Neo 1 or 2. But I always wanted to, especially when the game first came. I always wanted to see what was to it, but I just never got a chance to get around to it. But now, since I'm playing Neo 3, I see where all the hype is coming from. And a lot of people are saying that this is the best game in the series. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's decent. I'm glad I'm on this motherfucker today. And no, you do not have to play the first 2 to play 3. You do not have to play 2 to play 3. The first 2 to play 3. So you'll be good from there. Decent as hell, man. Like I said, I really do fuck with Neo 3. A lot of exploration. But your character move around pretty quickly. It's a decent amount of fast travels around the map. It's not bad at all. It's really not bad at all. It makes you want to uncover all the fast travels just so you can go back and see what you miss. So, highly recommend Neo 3. Now, the gaming industry as a whole is in shambles right now. Although it's making a whole lot of money, and it's making more money than the movie industry and the music industry, I believe, combined. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of these big companies like EA, Ubisoft, who else? There's a couple other more companies. I can't really think of off the top of my head, but those 2 in particular for sure. It's more, but I just can't remember. Oh, even smaller studios, they are getting shut down. They're laying off a whole lot of people. And these bigger companies, like the 2 I named, they pushing more towards AI. So a lot of people are losing their jobs because of that. It's really shitty out here, man. It's fucked up. And I feel like one of the big solutions that we have is emerging studios, emerging companies that values the employer more than AI, that allows their artists to be artists, not penny pinching. What's the word I'm looking for? Micromanaging everything that they do. For a good example would be the Expedition 33 devs, Sandfall Interactive. It's a lot of Ubisoft. It's a lot of old Ubisoft devs and a bunch of newbies as well from articles that I had read. This is their first game that they worked on, and so it's filled with veterans and the new guys, and they can learn from each other. Fucking fire! It's like the perfect combination. They are a team of 33 or 30 something, right? And the CEO of the company was basically saying we are more focused on the art than micromanaging. They basically want to let everybody do what they want to do. And that's great to hear. And this is why they created a masterpiece in Expedition 33. I'm really excited about what they do for their next game. They said they said that they are gonna make more games within the franchise. So this might be a new series that's out, that's gonna be out now, where it's like Final Fantasy or Fire Emblem, that type of shit, where they start making a bunch of games and most of them are bangers. You understand? So that'd be fucking lit, man. But a lot of these companies got to be more like them and let their artists be artists. We got to focus more on emerging companies, on smaller studios. And if we really don't want to support AI and shit like that, we don't have to, because it's going to be games or companies that's making games that without it. But it's going to get to a point where it's inevitable, because the software that they're using to make these games are using AI as well. You feel me? So it's just inevitable. You understand what I'm saying? But like, again, we have the power to not support this shit, because at the end of the day, it's just video games. We don't have to play these games. We don't have to. But I'm not about to stop playing them if other motherfuckers ain't. You feel me? Like, if it's games that I know, okay, this is strictly made with AI, this, that, and the third, I'm not in this AI slop, because that's been going around. I'm not about to support that shit. But like Expedition 33, a lot of people was really trying to force that narrative that it was made with AI, and it wasn't. They used a placeholder that was generated by AI, and then they took it out the game and replaced it with the real art that was made by a real person. This shit just don't make no sense. So if it's shit like that, I don't really care. But when it comes to companies laying off people, and they like Microsoft, they laying off a whole lot of people, so and they're pushing more towards AI, shit like that. I have that choice to not play their games, not buy their games. You understand what I'm saying? Not support that company as a whole, even though they do have a huge market share on a lot of IPs like Bethesda and Activision. You feel me? That's why it's these monopolies are not good across any industry. Across any industry, monopolies are not good. We do not fuck with that shit. But at least I understand, okay, this is what they're doing. Am I gonna support it still? And that's it. And that's everybody else. Everybody else have to ask themselves that same question. Make sure y'all stay hydrated. But drink me some water real quick. So yeah, man, the game industry is in shambles right now. It's a lot of smaller studios that's doing their thing, making a lot of money. And I'm just saying it's shambles as far as people losing their jobs. But as far as games coming out and it's a plethora of things to play, we in the best time to be a gamer. But it's one of the worst times for people in their jobs. So, it's bad on that point, which that's really fucking bad. And then it's good that we are getting a bunch of games, and we really don't know what to do with ourselves. He's spoiled at this point. Movies. Me and my girl, we watched Black Phone 2. Fire movie. I did not know what it was gonna go with the second one. I'm like, man, after the first one, how the fuck were they gonna go with the second one? But the children that was in the first movie, they older now. They went off to camp. They trying to figure out. If I speak on anything, because I hate talking about movies because sometimes I can tend to spoil them if I'm not careful with my words. But just know the premise is the children are older. They still having visions. Weird shit is still happening. And the villain is back, but not in the way that you think. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Really good movie though. They executed that shit very well. Really good ending. Not mad at the ending at all. I was like, damn, this was very well put together. I was like, damn, they might just be milking this shit. But nah, I'm glad that they made it too. TV show that we've been watching together is this TV show called Found. That is basically about, it's fucking fire. It's similar to SVU, to Law and Order SVU, but the difference is they look for children that are missing, or people that are missing, or captive, and that has been either kidnapped, shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? And they put a lot of they team focus on that a lot, and it's fire because the team that goes to look for missing persons or people that's been potentially kidnapped or has been kidnapped, that whole team has been through something traumatic, similar to why their job is the way it is. Everybody on the job has been through something very similar. And throughout the show, they tend to go through the background of each character, and you can see why, okay, I see why they're like this. So, and I see why she is acting like this all the time. Or they have say they have a mission that come up. That mission might be tailored to the trauma of somebody on that team. And it might be more focused on, I know how to handle this better because I also went through this. But you don't find out that they go through it until like maybe somewhere later in the episode, and then they talk about the story and shit like that. It's fucking fire, man. If anybody has been watching Found, and y'all know what I'm talking about, if I describe that right, let me know. Pretty sure I put that together without spoiling anything. Pretty good show, man. Pretty good show. I haven't been reading recently. I need to catch up on my reading. I'm not gonna lie to you. I try to read every day, but the last couple of weeks, me still going through my motions of creating this system for myself, because I'm still putting these systems in place, and I'm starting to see a little bit at a time is falling into place. I'm making time for other things, and putting focus on other things on certain days, and I'm still getting the results of when I want to get these shits out. You feel me? As far as content, whatever else I need to do. But I will recommend 2 books, and it's strictly about the mind. Mostly about the mind. Think and Grow Rich. I know I referenced this last week, but I highly recommend that you read Think and Grow Rich. Think comes first. The think part, that's very important. Your mind. What you think, like what my mentor says, if you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. So it's all about your mind, man. Think and Grow Rich. It's basically about Napoleon Hill, which is the author. He goes around talking about some of the greatest minds that he came in contact with, that he felt like, he learned a lot from. It's about stories of these men like Andrew Carnegie, who else? That's a name that's stuck in my head. Warren Buffett. Let me see, who else? I believe there's references to Charlie Munger, which is Warren Buffett's best friend. Let me see, who else? A lot of white men. Crazy I'm referencing this shit on Black History. Yeah. But I highly recommend that book. For sure. I need to hit the library so I can find some books by some Black authors. Oh, speaking of that, I've really been you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna save that for later. I'm stuttering and shit because I'm getting excited about it. I'm gonna reference that later. In the life portion of the pod. The second book I recommend is Richest Man in Babylon. I believe I referenced this as well last week. Highly recommend that you read Richest Man in Babylon. It's going to teach you how to turn $1 into 2. Save first, spend later. What I do, I invest, I save, then I spend. And when I say I spend, I pay all my bills last. So I pay myself first every time I get paid. I pay myself first. I invest a certain percentage amount of my check, then I save a percentage amount of my check, and then I spend the rest of it. Whether that's I take a little bit for FU money, and I pay all my bills, but the FU money comes last. The bills, so it goes investments, savings, bills, and then FU money. FU money is what I want to fuck off for the month, and then once that FU money is gone, that's it. I'm done. I'm not crossing that line. Now, am I perfect with that every time? Hell nah. I definitely go over my FU money limit, but I recognize that, and that's where I can make the change. So make sure y'all read Richest Man in Babylon. That also gives you a couple stories of some wise men dealing with money, talking about basically how men end up losing their wealth, how they end up not creating wealth, and how they eventually do create wealth, if they go down that path. And it's really simple. It's cash flow. You want to make sure you create that cash flow. Like I said, you take that dollar, you learn how to take that dollar and turn that motherfucker into 2. Once that dollar came to 2, you take that initial investment out, you take your dollar back, and now you can take that dollar and put it into something else and turn it into $2. Now you got 3 extra free dollars that you can take and you can put it into something else that compounds and grows. We're going to talk about that later as well. So, yeah, man. Make sure y'all get those 2 books and y'all read them. Next episode of the pod, I'm definitely going to talk about things that I've been reading or I'm starting to read or getting through, because I still got to finish Absolute Wonder Woman. I cannot wait till I finish that motherfucker. And Absolute Green Lantern. It's a Black woman Green Lantern. Y'all need to make sure go ahead and check that out. Next up, Let's talk about this music, man. Let's talk about this music. Y'all know I love music. Now, I haven't really been listening to anything new since the last episode of the pod, but I do have a new song recommendation for y'all. And we're going to do the same thing that we did last week, and we're going to play that motherfucking so that way y'all can hear it. YouTube, I'm going to apologize in advance. Y'all not going to hear it. I'm going to say the song name, say the artist, and then it's going to cut straight to, and you're back, or, and that was such and such, such and such. You feel me? So y'all ain't got to worry about that, man. But listen, Baby Keem, he just dropped an album called Casino. He dropped that motherfucker last night at the time of this recording. I have not heard it, chat. I'm definitely interested in listening to it. It's a short album too, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I think it's like 12 songs. It's called Casino. And I'm interested. It's 11 songs, 37 minutes. So I'm definitely about to be on that motherfucker. He got Kendrick Lamar on that bitch. He got Too Short on that bitch, which is crazy because Too Short was just on Jill Scott album. And Che E. Crew. I don't know who that is. I'm definitely interested to hearing who that is. I've been more into listening to more features, like hearing more features out, just so I can. That's another way so I can get it to more artists and shit. But yeah, man, Kendrick Lamar is on the album. Let me view the credits and see who else is on here. Let me see. Momo Boyd. I don't know who that is. So we're gonna. Oh, I know who Momo Boyd is. That's that singer. Oh, yeah. She got this one song called American Love Song. I love that song. Really good. She can sing like a motherfucker. Go check out Momo Boyd. I'm so glad. Oh, yeah. Go check out Momo Boyd. She ain't really got too much out. I don't know if she's not putting her shit on streaming services, but I think she only got one song because I ain't seen nothing else from her. Go check out Momo Boyd. She can sing, boy. She can sing for sure. So I will be listening to this shit today. I'm gonna give it a couple of listens before I come back on the next episode of the pod and talk about it. But Baby Keem, he just dropped an album called Casino. Y'all go ahead and check that out. Now, the song recommendation is by Brandy Younger. It's called Brand New Life. Now, remember I mentioned her last episode of the pod, and this shit, listen, this shit is beautiful. This shit is beautiful. I'm gonna keep doing this shit. Every episode, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna do at least one song per pod, bro. And hopefully y'all enjoy this shit and y'all enjoy the music. But listen, she can sing. This is a really good song. And it's pretty long. It's 4 minutes, 32 seconds. I'm gonna play the whole damn thing, maybe. We'll see. I'm gonna let that shit vibe. And yeah, man, I'm excited so that way y'all can hear this, because she needs to be found. Yeah, definitely. She needs to be heard for sure. So this is Brandy Younger, Brand New Life. I ain't gonna let the whole thing play this time. That's Brandy Younger, y'all. Brandy Younger, Brand New Life. If y'all have not heard of her, y'all have now, man. Go check her out. She fucking fire. Whew. Fire. And I can't wait for the next week. I can't wait for next week or the next episode. That we got another banger for y'all, boy. I got nothing but bangers, man. Music taste is up here. Always been up there. Fuck what you talking about. All right, man. Let's talk about investing real quick. And I'm gonna get into what I was talking about earlier, man, as far as like this YouTuber that I have found. Now, I want to talk about compound and interest. It's some powerful shit. I just want you to know it's some powerful shit. You know, you put your money into something and you continue to do that every week, every day, every week, every month, you know, every year, depending on how you want to do it. It's all up to you, how frequent you want to invest, and you let it compound and grow, and you earn interest on that, and you reinvest that interest. And now that's extra money along with the money that you already investing daily, weekly, however you doing it. And you look up within 3, 4 years, 5 years, shit, after the first year, you be like, damn, I got an extra $2,100. I got an extra $10,000. Damn, it's been 3 years and I saved up 30 racks. Damn. Now look, you got a nice little cushion You could take some of that money and you can put it in other things that'll pay you. That can accumulate interest. Put it into investments that's gonna grow over time. Now you have assets. Now you can borrow against the assets if you want to, or you can just continue to use the money that's working for you, buy those assets. You feel me? You buy that up, let it compound and grow, and then you be like, okay, I got enough in this. Now I'm gonna buy some more assets, buy some more shit. Or, I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna stuff more into my savings account. Or whatever the case may be, because you've been compounding and growing your money for 6 months to 5 years, going crazy. You eliminate all frivolous spending, right? Because that compounds and puts interest on your money as well. People don't think about that. Motherfuckers think when they hear compound and interest, they thinking, oh shit, that's just an investors that invest in shit. Or when I put my money into a savings account, it's gonna collect interest in the account. Nah, it ain't just that. That applies to the opposite side of it as well. Motherfuckers going to places spending $5 a day on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? $20, $40 a week, $100 a week on bullshit when they can eat at home. That's compounding too. You look up for the money. You done spent about $500 eating out. You know what you could have did for that extra $500 if you just stayed at home for the month, 2-3 months, cooked, put that extra $500 into something, turn that $500 into whatever. Now you got house money and you could put that $500 into whatever you want. It's simple as hell. Motherfuckers make this shit complicated as fuck, but it's really not. Like, I'm about to get a payout March 5th from my interest, from my savings account that I have. I'm about to get a payout of like $1.95. You know what I'm about to take that almost $2 and do? I'm about to take that $2 and put it into an investment. Y'all be like, just $2? What the $2? What the? I'm about to take that $2 and put it into an investment that's gonna grow and double my money. Once I do that, I'm gonna take my initial $2 and I'm gonna put it in something else or put it back into my savings account. I took $2 and made $4. That's what I'm about to do. I'm telling y'all what I'm about to do. So this compounding interest, and I'm doing this every month, and the more money that goes into my savings and whatever else, the more interest that I get, and the more interest I get, that's extra money that I can retain for myself to put it into other investments. So shit, by the end of this year, I'll fuck around and have about, I don't know, let's just say $100 extra a month. You know what I'm saying? By the end of the year that I can take and put it into something else and let that grow and do its thing. Richest man in Babylon. You understand what I'm saying? So that compounding interest is very important. It's very helpful. The superpower within that compounding interest is time. That's all you need. And you continue to do this shit. Again, you get very disciplined and you cut out a lot of ignorant shit that you've been doing with your money for the last however long, and you just stick to your guns and just watch how much money that you will have by the end of the year. Not just, in 3 years and 5 years, just by the end of the year. And then you take that, you multiply that by 5. And it's not going to be 2,100 every single year. That 2,100 going back into the, back into the system, and that's going to grow over time as well. So instead of you making $2,100 every single year, now you're making $2,500 extra $100 a year, or $3,000 extra a year. That grows over time. The more money that you have that compounds interest, the faster that it'll grow. You see that? Sounds like magic, but it's very fucking simple. And that's what I've been doing. Now, have I always been like this, thing like this? Hell no. It took me a long time to get to where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? And I'm still working towards my goals. But as I'm working towards them, I'm still learning and still applying the knowledge, which in turns create the wisdom that I'm trying to place upon y'all. You feel me? I just want to see more people get money, more ways that they can take care of themselves, so that way they don't have to rely on a job. There's nothing wrong with working a job, but don't rely on it, because you see what's going on out here. Niggas is losing their jobs left and right across every aspect of the industry. So I just want more people to have other cash flows, so that way they don't have to worry about, damn, where my next shit gonna come from when you got an extra $500 coming in a month. You understand what I'm saying? Extra $600-700 coming in a month. Then you got to worry about that. You feel me? And that takes me to my next point. You want to get there by creating a system. You want to make sure that you tally up, go through your bank statements. This is what I did, and how I keep track of all my my expenses and shit of what I spent through the month. I looked through my bank statement, and I seen everything, and this was tough. It really was. It was tough. I'm like, man, I know, because at one point I used to be scared to look at my bank account. I used to be scared, man, if I log in and that shit say negative, or it say under this amount of money, I'm gonna be fucking hurt. My stomach gonna drop to my ass. I'm already knowing what the fuck going on. So I used to be like weary about that type of shit, and I'd be like, man, I'm not about to look at my bank account, but I built up that courage to do it more often than I did. And every time I started to spend, I'm like, let me open up my shit, see how much I got. And I said, now I don't look at it as often, but when I do, I'm not scared to open up my fucking account, put in my password, and look at what I have in my account. I'm not scared to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? That really is a good way to keep track of your expenses, to see how much you spend and how much money that you have, to keep track of how much money that you have, basically. So go through your bank statements, look at everything that you were spending for the month or within the last couple of weeks. Be like, damn, is this bullshit? And if this is not. And if you see any bullshit, whether that's Uber, DoorDash, you know what I mean? I don't know, subscriptions that you ain't really using. You know, you can sell the 7 C's, and you can cancel Netflix. You can cancel Hulu, shit like that. You know what I mean? To save you an extra amount of money. Like, I get Netflix for free through T-Mobile. I'm paying for Amazon right now, but I'm about to go ahead and cancel that, and it's gonna save me an extra $17. And I guess what I'm gonna do with that $17? Take that and invest it. You feel me? I'm gonna take that and invest it. So that's gonna save me an extra few dollars there. So, you know, you basically want to look through your bank account and see everything that you got. Then once you do that, eliminate everything that is under frivolous spending, eating out, subscriptions, any bullshit, right? Then it comes down to debts and non-negotiables. What are you gonna pay for sure every single month? So you gotta create a percentage for savings, you gotta create a percentage for investing, and you gotta create a percentage of however much is coming out of your check for bills. So if you know, okay, I'm getting paid this amount of money for a month, within the month, or every 2 weeks, however you want to do your math. You say, okay, this percentage of my check is gonna go to investment, and make sure that you do it in a way that it's not breaking your bank, so that you still have some cash on the side, just so you can have on you. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to, or you can take everything that you have, but you know, just have a little bit of cash on the side. Be like, okay, I got an extra $200 in the bank. That's all I need for the month to spend for whatever, because you eating at home, you're not paying no other subscriptions, all your bills are paid, and whatever it is. So just make sure that you do that, bro. Come up with a system. That'll be part of your system. Percentage, could create percentages for your money. So 15% of my check is going to go to investing. 10% of my check is going to go to savings. The rest of the other 85 or 75 or 70% of my check, that's going to debts and non-negotiables. So that's going to your debt, if you have any, and all of your bills. And then whatever else you got left for the month, you can either save it, you can keep it in your bank account just because you want to spend on extra shit, or you can turn that into your FU money, or whatever the case may be if you need it. You feel me? And then you just continue to do that shit every single month. And don't let a month go by where you are basically going off of your plan. If you know, okay, I ate out twice this month, that's it. Limit yourself to how many times you're gonna eat out a month. I'm gonna eat out this much, it's gonna cost this much. And that's probably how much I need to put away. You can always do extra if you need to for, like, you know, birthdays or holidays. You know, you want to get your significant other some shit, whatever the case may be. You can always put some extra to the side as well. You might have to readjust and reallocate some money for the month, but you can do that. You feel me? That you can always get back on track the next month. Okay, last month I only did 10% for my investment because of X, Y, and Z, to have extra cash on the side so I can do this. Now, going into the next month, I'm going to boost it back up to 15%, and I'm going to do this for the rest of the year because you ain't got nothing else to spend your money on or whatever the case may be, man. But just get real disciplined, create that system. And then once you get into the habit of saving and investing and keeping that shit in place, then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to create a system for my investments. I'm going to put it into this, and I'm going to let it go up in price, and when it come up, I'm going to take my initial investment out, and I'm going to play with house money, and then I could take profits along the way up, however much you want to make money off of that one investment. You take that, then you say, okay, I'm going to put it into something that's going to protect my money, whether it's a savings account or a life insurance policy, whatever the case may be, and you're going to do that by percentages as well. And you want to keep doing that shit. You're like, okay, I'm gonna take a percentage of this, I'm gonna put it in that. And then once you get used to that, then you say your savings account, you can either let that compound, let your interest that you get off the savings account, you can let that compound if you want to, or you could take the money that you're making off your interest and you could put it into another investment that's gonna grow over time. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. It's gonna make money. Then you're gonna take it. Then you're gonna take it and say, okay, I'm gonna start building out dividends. I want my money to work more for me, even more now. You feel me? So you take that money and you be like, okay, I want to start looking up dividends, see what pays dividends, monthly, quarterly, weekly, high risk, mid risk, low risk, and see what you want to invest in. Once you do that, you be like, okay, I'm gonna start putting this certain amount of money, a percentage of my check, or whatever the case may be, into these dividends, and then I'm gonna let that money that I get off these dividends, I'm gonna put that back into investment to buy more assets. Just create that system. This is the system that I'm working out for me. My mentor calls it capital DR. That's cash flow, appreciation, protection, leverage, and de-risk. It's again simple as hell. Simple as hell. But you can use this same system. Anybody can use this system, especially if they got the means to. Because if you got the means to frivolously spend, then you got the means to save and invest. And it's for your future. You don't want to work forever. I know the fuck I don't. I want to get on this bitch and run my mouth, and that's it. And be like, damn. One of this if you look up The Modern Investor, I've been watching him for like the last year and a half now. But in one of his videos, he was like, man, imagine saying, you get all these investments over time and you accumulating all this shit and you getting an extra $6,000 a month. And he was like, imagine saying, I don't need this $6,000 this month. Imagine saying that I don't need this $6,000 this month, this extra $6,000 that I just got from my investment I've been accumulating after all this time. I don't need this month. So I could take this whole thing if I want to and put it into another investment that's gonna grow and make money. Imagine saying that shit, and it's possible. It's not about becoming the next millionaire, but it is about building wealth and building a system for yourself so that way you don't have to work until you die. You want to work because it's an option for you. You want to use these systems to create freedom. Discipline and having a system creates that for you. And that's what I'm creating for myself through these means. And I'm starting, you know what I'm saying? I'm staking a lot more. Like I said, I'm saving a whole lot more. And any money that I get, I'm putting that shit right back into an investment, an asset that's gonna grow. I'm constantly compounding my money now. And you can do the same. Like I said, it took me a while to get to this point because I used to frivolously spend and be skeptical about a lot of stuff all the time. But frivolously spending and being skeptical gonna keep you broke every single time. And that was me. I was that guy. And I didn't know what to do with myself because I was financially illiterate. Not to say that I'm a financial guru or anything like that, because I'm not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice. But I'm just saying I'm doing it and I'm seeing things working now. You know what I'm saying? Fast money is all cool and dandy, but you can lose it just as quick as you spend it, especially if you don't know what to do with it. But building it slowly, you know what I'm saying? And then it starts off. It starts off slow, and then it eventually becomes rapid. You know, it's like going up a hill, but once you get up there, you get the summit to that motherfucker. You're like, damn, I done made it up to this point. Now I can just let the ball roll on its own. And you push that motherfucker down, it's gonna be moving so damn fast because you've been pushing up this hill for so long, and you got to get to the top at some point. Then you push that bitch down, and it's gonna roll so quick. Shit is gonna be rolling the compound so quick. You gonna look up and be like, damn, I done made $10,000 this year. An extra $10,000 this year. 20, 30. You fuck around and start making your salary every year. You feel me? It's possible. It really is. Dude, don't take this information for granted. I'm telling you this because I'm seeing it work on my own. And I'm really getting to the point where I'm like, damn. Like, I buy when shit is red. I'm selling when shit is green. And I'm taking that extra money. I'm keeping a little bit for me, a little bit for taxes, and I'm throwing that shit into other assets, bro. Throwing that shit into other assets. Like, I'm learning more and more about how to borrow from my assets so I can pay for things that's gonna create cash flow. I pay that loan back, which is basically going back to me because it's my money. Now I got extra cash flow that I have. And listen, by the end of this year, you know, the way I'm going, I'm looking to have all of my bills covered. All of my bills covered through dividends and decentralized finance, which is DeFi. And that's like staking protocols and shit like that. Look that up. It's a good way to make some extra money. Staking protocols. Basically, you buy this asset like XRP or HBAR or whatever, and they have XRP don't have it, but I know Uphold, HBAR, you buy some HBAR and you can stake it. And it's basically it's basically locking up your money into this liquidity pool, and you get interest off of that. You compound your money. You gain more HBAR, which that can translate into USD if you sell it or not. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good way to make some extra, like extra 3% on your investment, on your asset. And then as the price go up, then that means your interest that you make on that is gonna go up as well. And you can always have that reinvest or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm starting to do that a whole lot more, learning more about that. Like, I'm just putting my shit, I'm putting a few dollars here, a few dollars there, in interest saving and interest making things. And whatever money that I accumulate, I'm putting that into other assets that's gonna grow over time. And then I can start putting that shit into more protection and use leverage and shit like that. So don't sleep on this shit, man. Create a system for yourself. You need that. If you don't have a system, the empire that you're trying to build will fall. You gotta have a system, and you don't have to copy my system of what I pointed out earlier. You can create one for yourself. Something that'll work for you. You always want to do something that'll work for you, for sure. Now, if you do copy the system and it turns out to work for you, oh, that's fucking amazing. That's fantastic. But if it ain't working for you, you can always pivot. Right? And be like, okay, I'm not gonna do 10%, I'm gonna do 5. I'm gonna do, instead of me doing percentages, I'm gonna do $200 every month. By the end of this month, I don't want to have 15% left. I want to have $800 left by the end of the month. Whatever the case may be, you can do it at your own discretion. But just build a system, create that discipline, cut out that frivolous spending, save and invest and create cash flow. And there's many different ways that you can do that. Look it up. Do dividends. Again, in crypto, staking protocols, gaining interest through stable coins, whatever it is, you can make money. There's a lot of money to be made out this motherfucker, man. And when you start really diving into finances and shit like that, you can really see like, damn, this is true. It is a lot of money to be made out here. And I can take that money and grow this money, and I can take this and like it gets crazy, bro. It gets crazy. Just thinking about the possibilities of it. It's crazy. Then once everything start getting into place, you start really seeing that shit work. You like, damn, I wish I started doing this shit when I was 22, 19. Ooh, I'd be woo. You feel me? So just make sure that you take heed in what I'm saying, man. Compounding interest, that is a superpower in money. And having a system that works for you, that's gonna allocate your money in places that's gonna build money and make your money work for you. Because again, if you don't have money working for you, you will work until you die. And you don't want that. You don't want that. You want to make sure that you can have freedom. So whatever you can, if you want to go to work, you can. If you want to just sit down for the last hour and a half and read books and shit like that for your night, or read all motherfucking day, you can. If you want to take a vacation for a couple of weeks because you got paid in dividends or whatever, and you can just on a whim go to Japan or go to Africa, you can, because you have the systems in place that is allowing you to do these things, and you're disciplined with your money. You feel me? Not having to worry about going somewhere, but like, damn, I can't really afford that because I'm trying to, you penny pinching. You don't want to have to worry about that shit. As long as you have a system in place that's gonna compound and grow your money. And you say to yourself, I'm not gonna eat out today, tomorrow, or next week. For the rest of the month, for the next 2 months, this is what I'm gonna do. And you can start small, but just start somewhere. Okay? Just start somewhere. Because I'm telling you, it's getting nasty. It's been nasty. Motherfuckers don't know when they last day at their job are gonna be, which means their last paycheck. Motherfuckers don't know. But guess what? You don't have to rely on another man or woman anymore to provide for you and your family, because you have this information at your disposal. Take everything what I say with a grain of salt if you want to. I recommend you to. Do the research on your own. And then you will see what I'm talking about. And when you do the research, try understanding it by way of applying it. This is how I'm understanding things. I'm applying the shit, because at first I read it, like, okay, I read it, I studied it and shit, but I wasn't really applying it. So I really didn't grasp the full understanding that I needed to become successful in what I want to do. So I was like, okay, let me start applying this shit and stop being scared and learn and read and this, that, and the third along the way. You have to do that. I'm like, okay, this shit is really real. Let me get more aggressive with it. Okay? So just, again, you do not want to rely on another man or woman to feed you and your family. You want to create different avenues, different sources of income. If you want to start a business and get into that, you can. If not, you can do it through way of dividends or other cryptocurrencies like staking protocols and earning yield, interest on your money through stable coins and shit like that. Just look it up. You can earn money on your money. Now, right now, the banks are trying to get that shit to stop because you already know. Motherfucker get more wham, damn, the banks ain't paying me shit in interest when I put in their savings account. But if I take it over to this stable coin over here on Coinbase, on Uphold or something like that, they not paying me to say this shit. None of that. I'm just saying, these are the, on these exchanges. If I do that, then I can make 3% on my money, 5% on my money. Woo! Fuck these banks. That's how they looking at it. They trying to get that shit to stop right now, but it seemed like some good news. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, was saying how they are coming to a compromise and shit like that. But yeah, man, there's a lot of ways that y'all can do this shit, bro. The old way of getting to the money and doing things is out the fucking window. You got to do more than just save, because the dollar is rapidly depreciating. Just last year in 2025, it lost 20% of its value. So guess what that's doing to your savings account and the money that you making every single week, slaving hard at your fucking job, breaking your motherfucking back for. Guess what that's doing to your money? Inflation is a motherfucker. So just take that in heed, man. Just take that in heed. There's ways that you can compound and grow, and having a system for yourself that you are always going to fall back on. Last but not least, I was gonna talk about just me feeling good about everything going on a personal level. I've been feeling good about a lot of shit, but that's it really. I ain't really got too much to say about that. Like, I just been feeling good about a lot of things, and I'm on the right path of what I need to do with my life. Everything that's going on, I'm on the right path for sure. I feel it. There's nothing, I feel like nothing can stop me. There's a lot of days where I feel like just busting through a fucking wall just cause like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I'm ready. I feel this shit. You know what I'm saying? I felt the best I've ever felt ever. And I'm trying to feel better than that. You understand? I'm trying to be peak everything with me. So again, there's everything on a personal level. I just been feeling real good, man. Just doing what I need to do to provide for me and my family. And continue to invest and just learning more, reading more, niggas getting smarter out here. You know what I mean? Just doing what the fuck I need to do, bro. I've been feeling real good about it. Real good about it. So that's about it, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to go ahead and get the fuck out of here. This has been episode 53 of the Von Talks podcast. Y'all make sure y'all exercise, drink some water, and relax. And I'll make sure to see y'all ass on the next episode of the Von Talks podcast. Peace.